Welcome to eFit30. My name's Mackenzie from Rerun. I'm a physio specialising in running injuries. We're here today at Osteopathy on James, this beautiful Pilates studio in Brisbane. We'll be working through a beginner's Pilates sequence, focusing on your core, your postural muscles and your glutes. This is suitable for beginners, but also for all levels, as long as you have no current injuries. We'll finish the session with a lovely stretch for your lower back and hips. So let's begin. Sitting nice and tall with your sit bones planted down into the mat, we draw the belly button in towards the spine gently, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other, all the way up to the top of your spine, crown of the head reaching to the ceiling, and the shoulders are nice and wide. From here, let's inhale, taking the arms wide as they come up towards the ceiling, interlacing the fingers. We stretch the hands towards the sky, breathing deeply into the rib cage, and let's exhale across to the right side, taking a stretch through the left rib cage all the way down to the left hip. Inhale tall to the top, and exhale down to your left. Anchor down through the right sit bone and stretch all along the right side. Inhale to the top and exhale, hands come down to the mat. We'll move now onto our hands and knees. It's called tabletop position. In tabletop, we have the hands directly under our shoulders, soft bend in the elbows, and the chest lifts up into our shoulder girdle. The knees are directly under the hips, and we're going to take a moment to find neutral spine. Going through a couple of rounds of cat-cow, we'll tuck under through the pelvis, rising up through the shoulder blades, pressing through the spine towards the ceiling, and then inhale, let's look forward, taking the eyes towards the sky, hips rise, tucking under, and pressing through. Let's take that back to a midpoint where we're neither tucked nor arched. We've got a nice neutral curve in our lower back. This is where our abdominals will best function. We're going to let the belly muscles go. Just let everything relax at the front of your body. And then using our pelvic floor and our deep abdominals, we're going to draw that belly button up and in towards our spine. Holding that about 50% of the strength of the maximum contraction, we just want to keep a gentle tuck through our lower abdominals and our pelvic floor. From here, we're going to extend the right leg back. So we take the right toe along the mat, keeping the pelvis nice and still and scooping that belly button to the spine. We'll take at the same time the left arm forward. So fingertips on the mat, shoulder blade back. Inhale, bringing the hand and foot back in, and exhale, reaching forward. Level 1 or beginners, we're going to keep the foot and hand in contact with the mat, keeping the pelvis and spine nice and still. Level 2 can start to lift the hand and foot up into the air. We're aiming for a nice horizontal line through the body, not taking the foot or hand any higher than our spine. Reaching forward and bringing the hand back in. Let's go for 2 more. Last one, holding here for a moment. Inhale, let's lift everything just a tiny bit higher. Level 1, you're reaching further, scooping the belly button into spine, and then taking the hand and foot down to the mat. Very good. Setting up for our other side, drawing the belly button and pelvic floor in. We'll extend the left leg back, keeping the pelvis nice and still. Taking that right hand forward, we draw the shoulder blade back into the girdle, and then we bring the hand and foot back into the mat. Scoop and reach, level 1, staying in contact with the floor, and level 2, starting to lift up, aiming for a horizontal line from the fingertips to the toes. Reaching forward as we inhale, bringing the hand back as we exhale. Reach and return. We're aiming to work with precision. So we want to bring the hand and the knee exactly back to the same spot each time. The knee doesn't come to the chest. We bring it back directly under the hip. 3 more. and 2. And last one, let's hold this last one here. Inhale, reaching a tiny bit higher. Level 1, reaching a little further, scooping belly button to the spine and relax back down to the mat. Very good. We'll now move into a nice rotational stretch for your spine. Taking your left hand all the way up towards the ceiling, we open out the chest, expanding that arm nice and long, scooping the belly button to the spine and letting the arm thread around under the body. The back of the hand rests all the way down onto the floor until we come down onto the back of our left shoulder. You can keep your right hand down for balance and just take the eyes up towards the ceiling as long as there's no pain in your neck. You should feel a nice stretch all the way from your hips, around the spine into the back of the shoulder. Level 2, to intensify that stretch, we'll take the right hand up towards the ceiling. You can hold it here above your head, or you can loop it around the body and just bind onto your left thigh. Using that bind just to open up the top shoulder, we're looking towards the ceiling and keeping our hips nice and square. 2 more deep breaths here. And then unhooking your hand, bringing it back down to the mat and allowing that left arm to thread back through. Taking it to the other side, we open up through the right arm, expanding through the chest, reach those fingertips long. And exhale, let the arm thread all the way across underneath the body until your back of your shoulder rests down onto the mat. Keep the hips high and take the eye line to the ceiling. The other arm, level 2, can reach up to the sky or around to the opposite hip, like we did on the other side. With the bind, we can take the shoulder back slightly, inhaling and exhale. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhale here and exhale. Last one. Exhale, and let's take that hand up to the ceiling, bringing it back down to the mat and unthreading our arm. We'll move into a plank position. So level 1, just walking the hands slightly further forward so that your hips start to lean into the position. We want to keep a nice straight line from our shoulders to our hips to our knees, and we're scooping the belly button, tucking the tailbone slightly, growing longer through the crown of the head. If you have any pain in your wrists, you can drop down to the elbows, holding a nice strong plank position, working from your core. Level 2, you can work from your elbows or your hands, tucking under through the toes and pressing up into a high plank. Activate through the thighs and the glutes and press the heels strongly back behind you, slightly drawing the heels towards each other. Lifting through your deep abdominals, we're going to make sure that our lower back has no pain. If there's any symptoms of pain in your lower back, we take it back down to the knees. Making sure that our elbows have a slight bend, so we're not locking out through our joints, and the crown of the head growing even longer in front of us. Let's hold here for 2 more breaths. Growing longer every time through the crown, scooping the belly button up stronger. Last breath. And relax. Let's take the buttocks back to the heels and rest in a child's pose. Let's take it down onto our stomachs, so we're lying flat on our fronts on the mat. We'll start to work through our shoulder girdles. We're taking the arms out into a cactus shape, 90-degree bend in the elbow, and the hands are resting down onto the floor. From here, let's tuck under through the tailbone, scoop the belly button in towards the spine, and have a gentle squeeze through the buttocks to protect our lower back. Drawing those shoulder blades back and down, we keep the belly button engaged as we inhale, lifting the head, chest, and arms up off the mat. Exhale slowly down and inhale, lift. Exhale down and inhale up. If this is a little strong for your lower back, you can keep your head down onto the mat and just work through your shoulder blades and your arms, making sure that the shoulder blades lead the movement and that your belly button stays scooped to your spine the whole time. Level 2, we can start to lift the feet. So when the head and arms come up, we lift the feet with pointed toes, nice straight strong legs, and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. We're trying to keep the hands and shoulders in a nice straight line with our elbows. We don't want to see the hands go up or down above the elbow, which may put a little bit of strain on the shoulders. Keep it all nice and controlled and even, working from our core, not putting any strain on our lower back. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. You can take a break whenever you'd like, otherwise we'll do 4 more. Inhale up and exhale down. Two more. Last one, up and down. And let's just take one more rest in child's pose, pressing the hands back under the shoulders and buttocks taking it back to the heels. Let the arms relax. Your belly can relax and just take a couple of deep breaths. Coming back up into tabletop, we're going to take it down to the floor. So we'll sit onto our left hip and just swing the legs around to the front of the mat. Sitting up nice and tall on your sit bones, we bring the chest forward. Level 1, holding the back of the thighs. Level 2, we can extend the arms out in front, drawing that belly button to spine. We slowly start to tuck under through the pelvis and roll down, one vertebrae at a time, all the way down through our lower back, onto our middle back. Taking the shoulder blades down to the floor and then resting the hands down beside you. You can bring your feet in a little bit closer so that your knees are pointing up to the ceiling and the thighs are parallel. Let's find our neutral spine again. So taking your fingertips onto your hip bones, we're just going to start to tuck under through the pelvis and then arch the back away from the mat. Tucking under and then arching away. We're trying to find a spot where our hips and our pelvis are nice and level. So looking down your body, trying to get a nice flat triangle on top of the pelvis. There should be a small gap under your lower back. You might be able to just slide your fingertips underneath. Taking those fingers back to the hip bones, we'll engage our deep abdominals again. So taking a nice deep exhale, we now fill our ribs up with air, nice deep inhale, all the way out into the side of the ribs. As we exhale, let's lift up through the pelvic floor. Draw the belly button down towards the spine and feel that area across our waistband tighten and flatten. We want to maintain about a 50% contraction, so let's just let go slightly. Don't clench the muscles. We need to be able to breathe and relax our shoulders while we're holding our deep abdominals in. Check that your neutral spine hasn't changed. There should still be a small gap under your back. And let's just practice that one more time. So letting go of the abdominals and letting all the air out of the lungs. Let's do a nice deep breath right up into the sides of your rib cage. Fingers just inside the hip bones. As we exhale, we lift through the pelvic floor and draw the belly button in towards the spine. 50% contraction, a nice flat, tight lower tummy, and we'll hold this one in now. So drawing the belly button nice and firmly in towards the spine, we're going to take the right leg and drop the knee out 45 degrees. So we keep that left sit bone down onto the mat, Coming back into the center as we exhale, let's inhale and take the left leg out 45 degrees. Inhale in and exhale out. Working with control, we want to make sure that the pelvis isn't rocking from side to side. So we're using our deep abdominals to hold the belly button towards the spine, hold the pelvic floor up and keep the pelvis nice and stable. As the legs go out, we're aiming only for 45 degrees. To go much further would deactivate our abdominals. We want to make sure that we've maintained that contraction throughout the whole exercise. So from here, let's do 4 more. Opening that leg out, drawing it back in using our abdominals, working with precision, aiming for 45 degrees. Last one. And relax. Good, from here let's take our hands down to our sides, making sure we've maintained that neutral spine, engaging the deep abdominals and drawing up through our pelvic floor. Let's work on our toe taps. So lifting the right foot, we're going to tap the foot down the mat about 1 inch, keeping that spine nice and neutral. Inhale back to your start position and then exhale working onto the left. Tapping the toe and return. Level 1, we'll stay with this activity, keeping the spine nice and neutral. Level 2, we're going to start to extend the foot down towards the end of the mat, just taking the leg a little longer. This will challenge your deep abdominals. Trying to maintain that neutral spine will become a little bit harder. So just work at a level where you feel that you're still controlling your lower back. There should be no pain in your lower back at any stage. Tapping down to the end. Trying to hit the same point every time. When we change sides, keep the pelvis nice and square and level and keep the tailbone down onto the mat the whole time. Let's go for 1 more on each side. Last one. And relax. Good. We've worked through the deeper lower abdominals. Now we're going to start to engage our upper abdominal muscles. For the whole exercise, we will maintain that 50% deep abdominal connection. So let's just maintain our little pelvic floor lift and our belly button drawing into our spine. We'll interlace our fingers and take them in behind our head. Trying to keep the crown of the head reaching long, just a gentle tuck through the chin. Inhale here and exhale. Let's curl up. Ribs coming up towards the hips as we lift the head and shoulders. Inhale down and exhale up. If there's any strain in the neck, just press the head gently back into the hands. It will help relax your neck muscles and focus on drawing the deep abdominals in a little more. You should still have your neutral spine and the elbows are wide. We want to avoid pulling on our neck or putting any strain through the upper body. All the work is happening in our core. So exhale to lift and inhale to lower. Our breathing will help us activate our diaphragm, which works with our deep abdominals to control some of our core stability. Gentle tuck through the chin and staying nice and relaxed through the neck. 3 more. 2. And last one, we're going to hold up here on our last one and reach the hands down past our thighs. Level 1, or anyone with any neck injuries, you can keep your hands in behind your head. Even one hand can help. Reaching those hands past the thighs, we draw the belly button into the spine, curl up a little bit higher, and then we start to beat the arms up and down, working into our hundreds exercise. So we're breathing in for 5 beats of the arms and breathing out for 5 beats. Keeping that belly button drawing into the spine, a nice flat waistband across your tummy. Drawing those shoulder blades back and down, keeping the chin gently tucked and eyes on the thighs. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. Make those beats nice and small but constant. We want to challenge our core stability. Inhale here and exhale. 20 to go. Let's see if we can curl up a little bit higher. If you need to support your neck, just take your hand in behind your head. 10 to go. Working nice and strongly. Scoop a little stronger. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax it down to the mat. Very good. From here, we'll just bring the knees up into the chest and just gently rock back and forth through your spine. Just easing out our lower back. From here, let's take our feet down to the mat and our hands can rest back next to our hips. Drawing that belly button into the spine, lifting through our pelvic floor, we're going to start to tuck under through the pelvis and roll up into a bridge position. One vertebrae at a time, nice and slowly squeezing into your glutes and pressing into your heels. We're lifting up to a position where our knees, hips and shoulders are in a nice straight line, tucking gently under through the pelvis and keeping the thighs parallel. From here, let's come halfway down. Squeezing into the buttocks and pressing into the heels, we rise back up to the top. Inhale halfway down and exhale rising up. Working into our glutes, we make sure there's no pressure in our lower back by tucking under through the tailbone and scooping the belly button to the spine. Inhale down, exhale up. Good. Pressing into those heels, we activate through the glutes just a little stronger by thinking about the muscles and squeezing them as we work. Good. Inhale down, exhale up, 3 more, and squeeze, 2, and squeeze. Last one, let's squeeze all the way to the top. Holding here, we've just got 10 little pulses, so an inch up, inch down, up and down, squeezing into those buttocks, pressing into your heels. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold at the top and then relax and we'll start to roll down through the spine. So coming down through our middle back, scooping our belly button to the spine, we come down through the lower back and finally our tailbone coming down to the mat. Well done. Let's finish with a stretch. Bringing the right knee into the chest, we'll extend out through the left leg. Take your right arm out beside you, palm up, and let's stretch through the lower back. We take the leg across the body into a supine twist. Trying to get the knee down to the floor, but most importantly, keeping that right shoulder blade anchored down to your mat, relaxing all the way down your lower back and into your hip. We can do a couple of nice deep breaths here into our right rib cage, expanding out through all our ribs. Inhale here and exhale. Last breath. And let's bring that knee back up into the chest. We bring the left knee up to join it and then extend out through the right side. Our left arm will stretch out beside us, palm up on the floor, and we bring the left knee across the body. Looking back towards your outstretched arm, anchoring that shoulder blade down onto the mat and letting the left leg relax across the body. Breathing deeply into the left rib cage, expanding through all our ribs. Last breath. And slowly make your way back to center. We'll hug those knees into chest and just gently start to rock back and forth through the spine. Starting to make our rolls a little bigger, we go from shoulder blades to sacrum, massaging all the way down through the lower back. And on the next rock, we'll come up to a sitting position. Sitting up nice and tall, we'll cross the legs, anchor our sit bones down onto the mat and draw the belly button into spine. We stack up all our vertebrae one on top of the other and roll the shoulder blades down and back. Chin gently tucks and crown of the head reaches the ceiling. Nice deep breath here. Let's take our final breath together. Inhale, expand out through the sides of your rib cage. And exhale, let all the air go. Well done. I hope you've enjoyed our beginners Pilates class today. My name's Katie Mackenzie from Rehab for Runners. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to eFit30 and I'll see you again soon.